Hello, today we'll be talking about urban poverty in Malaysia. Poverty is mainly associated with a lack of income. It involves poor individuals with income below the minimum level of human basic needs. Poverty in Malaysia is measured using a poverty line income to differentiate poor and non-poor households. Based on Professor Denison Jayasuriya, the urban poor are people with a family of 4 who earn less than 2,000 ringgit a month and have less than 5,000 ringgit in savings. In recent years, urbanization has led to an increase in urban poverty in Malaysia.
Among housing issues were included the affordability, home ownership, and issues on property market. The continuous increase in house price has caused many citizens living in city were unable to afford their own house. Mostly, the urban poor live in squatter house, illegally built on government land. Low-cost housing projects also cannot meet the needs of society to own a house. Poverty and malnutrition issues are an inevitable thing. A study by UNICEF revealed that 15% of the children below age 5 years old are underweight, while 22% of the children are stunned and 23% of the children are overweight. This makes them more vulnerable to malnourishment and potentially damaging cognitive development because they are unable to access necessities including nutritious food and healthcare. A study conducted by UNICEF on residents of low-cost flats in Kuala Lumpur found that 51% of the children who are 5 and 6 years old are not attending preschool, and 2% of those who are 7 to 17 are not in school. Insufficient
Malaysian government has come up with many policies to solve the urban poverty issues. All the formulated policies and programs tailored to ensure every eligible Malaysian has an opportunity to forge a suitable place in the greater scheme of things as their basic need. As for housing issues, the main concern here is the affordability.
Perumahan Rakyat Satu Malaysia Act 2012 Act 739 is one of the government's initiative to monitor all methods relating to the development and construction of dwelling houses, infrastructure and Prima helps lower and middle group come B40 and M40 for their affordability to purchase houses with the size approximately between 850 square feet and 1,850 square feet, price between 100,000 and 400,000 each. The houses are open to all Malaysians with monthly household income of between 2,500 ringgit and 15,000 ringgit. This initiative also encouraged these groups to own a house since the price is lowered by 20% from market price. However, there are too many unsold houses that cost them more than 3 billion ringgit, which totally more than 13,000 units. They even give discount up to 20% so they can sell the remaining houses. Plus, non-preferred location also a challenge for Prima because the demand medium cost house is very much higher in Klang Valley compared to Bandar Puteri. For instance, Prima at Jalan Jubilee project as of November 2020, where applications were 27 times more higher than the available 210 apartments.
People who are in the category of poor or urban poverty are more vulnerable to malnourishment and potentially damaging cognitive development because they are unable to access necessity including nutritious food and healthcare. To overcome this issue, Government of Malaysia initiate the Supplement Meal Plan or the Rancangan Makanan Tambahan RMT. It was introduced in 1979. This policy targets children from poor families, especially from rural, urban and low-income groups. This policy aims to address undernutrition. The food preparation process is carried out by 95% of school canteens, with the meals being served to the pupils a few minutes before recesses. It is essentially for pupils to receive a good start in their early school life, particularly when they are already disadvantaged by the lack of nutrition from their low-income background, and especially if they hope to eventually break free from the poverty cycle. In the recent tabling of budget 2021, RM 420 million was allocated for the RMT. The allocation of RM 420 million in budget 2021 is 42% higher compared with RM 295 million in budget 2020 and RM 289 million in 2019. Part of the increment will be spent to ensure there is a daily meat supply to the kids. Using UNICEF Malaysia's data of 500,000 school children from low-income households as a yardstick and 194 schools day in 2021, the RM 420 million allocation for the Food Supplementary Program or RMT will translate into a daily meal that costs RM 4 ringgit and 32 cents for each student. However, there are some challenges about this policy. The first one is the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry have direct stakes in improving school feeding and must better coordinate to ensure its success. Hence, the government should make this program is better assess and improve the targeted pupils. Next, it must ensure that only food approved for school feeding is sold in canteens, as seen in some schools in Johor, which forces students to only eat healthy food during the school day and minimize access to junk food and soft drinks. The last one is there is an urgent need for better cooperation among the different ministries with other public stakeholders in improving the implementation of school feeding.